As a beginner, if you go to internet today, let's say YouTube or any search, the top three things that you hear from any ranker is PYQs are inevitable, they are extremely important. We often forget or we get lost in the noise ki what exactly do I do? What do you mean when you say PYQ? Is it just the past year paper should I look at, or like some analysis? How does all of that analysis convert into some kind of content? How do I make my notes which are relevant or in relation to the PYQ? Have I identified certain topics which have been again and again asked in the exam? Those are the kind of things that we want to discuss today.
What are the three pillars of preparation for UPSC 2026? This is CD's PYQ micro theme platform. I'll just take you through the trend analysis, the PYQs, how to identify the micro themes and so on.
After today, you'll not have any doubts about how to use PYQs in your prelims and mains preparation.
I started my full-fledged preparation after I joined the Ultimate Assessment Program at Civilsdaily.
There is a 12-month strategy which I have done on Civilsdaily platform only.
I reached out to the Civilsdaily team.
Civilsdaily. Current affairs में Civilsdaily.
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 With Civilsdaily.
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 Civilsdaily. To Civilsdaily.
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 A mentorship program of Civilsdaily, and that did help me a lot.
Today, we have been taking, Sreelakshmi has been taking a lot of sessions with us. This is yet another masterclass. Today we are mostly discussing 2026 strategy. Under that, the angle from which we are coming today is we are discussing PYQ based preparation. You as a beginner, if you go to internet today, let's say YouTube or any search, the top three things that you hear from any ranker is PYQs are inevitable, they are extremely important. We often forget or we get lost in the noise ki what exactly do I do? What do you mean when you say PYQ? Is it just the past year paper should I look at, or like some analysis? How does all of that analysis convert into some kind of content? How do I make my notes which are relevant or in relation to the PYQ? Have I identified certain topics which have been again and again asked in the exam? Those are the kind of things that we want to discuss today. After today, you'll not have any doubts about how to use PYQs in your prelims and mains preparation. So we can start. Sreelakshmi, you can start. And any questions you folks have, you can either write down in the chat or hold till the end. We'll answer them. But in between the session, we'll not be able to take the question, but feel free to type them. Good evening, folks. All right, we can start.
Good evening, everyone. So, as you all know, we are going to have a session on PYQ based preparation for 2026, and most of you are attempting for 2026. 2026 Civil Service Prelims exam will be held in May, and mains exam will be in August. So, approximately you have around 15 months from today. It's a good amount of time. Okay. So I just want to take you through a timeline. Timeline as in, this is an ideal timeline. Starting from Jan 2025, that is this month. So from Jan till April is your phase 1. Now, what are you supposed to do in phase 1? You have to do thorough reading of the priority subjects. Now, what are priority subjects? Polity, economy, history, geography. These are some of the priority subjects, right? You need to do thorough reading of it. What are you going to refer to? You can refer to NCRTs, you can refer to your standard books. All right. Along with this, you're also going to do PYQ reference. Side by side, you're also going to look at the PYQs of polity, look at the PYQs of economy, and then try and analyze what are the kind of questions UPSC asks, what are the kind of topics UPSC focuses on. Okay. And from this, you're going to identify the micro themes. Now, what are micro themes? Micro themes are high priority areas. All right. Now, UPSC has given us a syllabus, but not every UPSC has not gone in detail to explain which are the priority areas, right? It just gives you a broad area. Now, where do you get these micro themes from? From the PYQs. All right. And also make your basic notes. So this comes under phase 1. Once you complete this phase, you will be like 50% above the UPSC competition. All right. Now, from April till June is your buffer week. Why buffer week? It's not humanly possible to stick to the timetable at least in the initial times, because there's a lot of inertia. You might fall sick, you might not be able to complete your targets on time. So there is buffer week in which you can cover these things. All right, so Jan to April, phase 1. April to June, buffer week, you can complete your remaining stuffs. From June till December is your phase 2. Now in phase 2, you need to focus on your mains preparation. What comes under mains preparation? The general studies, all the 4 papers, along with optional. Okay, optional has 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. All right, again here, micro themes becomes very important. Read the syllabus, go through the PYQs, identify the topics in which UPSC is asking, and then you need to prepare your 1-pager notes. Okay, after doing all this, side by side, you should also start doing your answer writing practices. That means you need to start attempting your mocks. All right. By December end, you should be ideally mains ready. Okay, that's the term generally we use. Now, what is mains ready? You have covered your standard books. You have done your basic reading. You have at least 2 readings of your basic sources. You have covered your optional well. You have identified the micro themes. You have prepared your 1-pager notes. And then you have also done your answer writing practice. This is what you have to aim to achieve by December 2025. And once you achieve this, you will be 80% above your competition. Okay, because most of the people is not going to do this. Many of them will be like, when I interact with a lot of students, they'll be like, ma'am, I've not completed, both the papers of my optional. I've just completed, 40%, 30% of it. Or people generally don't, end up making notes. They just refer to standard books and that's it. I highlighted everything in their standard books and now they don't know how to revise. So, but if you complete all of this, you'll be definitely about 80% of your competition. Post December is your phase 3. Phase 3 means you need to shift your gears to prelims prep. Okay, because in May will be your prelims. So you need proper 5 months to finish your prelims preparation. So prelims preparation, identifying the prelims micro themes, preparing 1-pager for prelims, attempting your mocks, giving sectional test, giving full length test, finding the gaps, identifying them, and then doing your last revision, active recalling till your D-Day. Okay, once this is done, you will be 95% above your competition. All right, so in May, you will have your D-Day, that's your prelims. And then post this, you will have 3 months for preparing solely for mains. Okay, mains will be somewhere in August. That's what we are assuming because 2025 mains is in August. All right, here again, till December, you have prepared your mains. Right, in your phase 2, you have already covered most of your mains. You have prepared your 1-pager notes and all of that. Now what you have to do is you have to get all those notes back, start reading, rereading, revising, doing more and more answer writing. If anything has been left back then, you can cover up in these 3 months. All right, then August you will have your mains, and post that you can do your interview preparation. So this is a basic timeline to follow for next 15 months. I hope this is clear. Okay. Along with this, you need to also have a bi-weekly revision plan, which means out of 2 weeks, you need to keep minimum 3 days for revision. Why revision? Because then there is no point, right? You're just reading. It's human brain. You tend to forget things. And UPSC is like almost everything under the sun. That's what people generally say, right? Because there are a lot of subjects, lot of topics, lot of micro themes that you need to cover, and lot of notes. You just keep preparing notes, but you don't revise, you will not be able to recollect or recollect anything in the answers, right? So that's exactly where revision comes into picture, and having a proper revision strategy is very, very important. So try following a bi-weekly revision plan. Okay. Then next question is, how long should I study? Now, this is a long race. It's a marathon, like a 1-year marathon, right? You cannot sit for like more than 10, 12 hours per day because it's difficult. You cannot, after a point of time, you will exhaust yourself. So minimum 7 to 8 hours per day you must study, not less than that. More than that, if if you have the capacity, if you have the luxury of doing that, you can do it. But at least minimum 7 to 8 hours per day is advisable. Okay. Revise the previous day before you start your next day. Now, this again comes into the revision strategy. Why should you revise? Because then it will be intact in your brain. Whatever you have studied, whatever you have covered, it will not be a burden later on. If you don't revise well, and if you keep everything for the last moment, it will turn out to be a burden. You'll start panicking. You might not finish things on time. You might complain about forgetting things, not able to answer well. You have covered, you have read it, but not able to recollect in the test. These are the common issues which any aspirant faces, right? So that's why revising your previous day before you start your next day is very important. First of all, you need to have targets every day that I'm going to cover this. Before sleeping, you need to have your next day's target fixed. And the moment you wake up the next day, you take up whatever you studied the previous day, just go through, just skim through everything that you have studied, and then keep that aside. Take just half an hour, 1 hour for this particular exercise, and then you can start your next day. Okay? All right. What are the 3 pillars of preparation for UPSC 2026? First, micro-theme based approach to UPSC CSE. Okay. I've already mentioned what are micro-themes. Micro-themes are high priority areas. Second is evidence-based syllabus coverage. Merely, following a rat race is not enough. You need to do smart study. Okay. Definitely it's a hard work as well, but in hard work as well, you need to have a smart approach to cover your syllabus. Now, what is that smart approach? You need to have evidence-based syllabus coverage. Now, what do you mean by evidence-based? You need to go through the PYQs, understand the trend, which subject is asked more, even in that particular subject, which topic is asked more, even in that particular topic, what is the nature of question that UPSC generally asks. So if you have an idea about this, you don't have to waste your time just reading cover to cover. You can actually prioritize your time, because we have limited time and endless syllabus, right? So you can prioritize your time and energy to priority areas, okay, high yielding areas, and give less time to the ones which are not asked generally. Okay, this will make your preparation more streamlined with precision. This is very important. Next is 1-pager notes for prelims and mains. Okay, I swear by 1-pager notes, because as I mentioned earlier, UPSC syllabus is like endless, right? Standard books, you just keep collecting books and resources from the market, and it is endless. It's a you become a collector of resources in the end. But what is more important is you need to have crisp notes of all that you have studied. Crisp notes in the sense that for every micro theme, you need to have a 1-page note. This is what I meant. This is what I mean by 1-pager notes, right? For both prelims and mains. So 3 pillars. First is micro theme based approach for UPSC. Second is evidence based syllabus coverage. And third is 1-pager notes for both prelims and mains. All right. Okay. I'll just take you through prelims micro themes. This is CD's PYQ micro theme platform. I'll just take you through the trend analysis, the PYQs, how to identify the micro themes, and so on. All right. So here you can see the important subjects, different years, how many questions have been asked under each subject. For example, in 2024, 19 questions came from geography, 12 questions from economy, 14 from environment, 16 from polity, 8 from art and culture, so on and so forth. 2023 again, that you can see a trend. Basically, which subject and how many questions. Okay. This you need to understand, because then again, there is this concept of priority subjects as well, apart from the priority micro themes. So again, here art and culture 8, but geography there is 19, economy there is 12, polity there is 16. Which subject will you give more time to? Definitely you will give more time to polity, economy, geography, and environment, right? In comparison to art and culture. But are you going to ignore it? Definitely not. 8 questions is more than enough to clear the cutoff. Right? You're not going to ignore anything, but divide your time as per the importance of the subject. That's what I mean by that. Okay. Again, science and tech 12, IR 5, miscellaneous, some personalities or something, 1 question, governance 7 questions, agriculture 3 questions. So in this way, you need to have an idea which subject was asked more in which year. Okay. And year-wise trend. All right. Next is year-wise, how many questions came from current affairs, how many questions came from the core standard books and NCRTs, and how many came from some non-traditional books, which we generally don't refer to much. So that idea you need to have. For example, in 2024, current affair 33 questions have been asked. Non-traditional sources, 18 questions were asked. Core books and NCRT, 49 questions were asked. What does this tell you? It tells you that core books and NCRTs are important enough. You don't have to run behind some non-traditional resources. First, cover your core books. First, cover your NCRTs, and then move on to the next thing. Okay? So you can see the proportion. In 2021, 63 questions came from the core books and NCRT. In 2019, 55 questions came from core books and NCRT. So you just see the trend here. All right? Next is the kind of questions that come in UPSC. For example, how many two-liners came in 2024? How many single statement came in 2024? How many only all pair came in 2024? Okay. How many multi-liners came in 2024? So you can see a change of trend as well here. The 22 questions of multi-liners came in 2023, but 28 came in 2024. Can you ignore it? You cannot ignore it. You need to give more priority to all these things. You need to understand how UPSC asks you questions. All right. Moving on to micro themes. So these are some of the important micro themes. Now, this is a mix and match of all the subjects. Here you can see environmental organizations, 45 questions have come till date. Okay. Out of all the subjects, out of all the micro themes, environmental organization is the most priority area because 45 questions have come from it. And you can also see that which year came, like for example, 23, it was asked, 22, it was asked, 21. So almost every year, environmental organization, the question from an environmental organization come, right? So it is very, very important. Second important is emerging technology of science and technology. 44 questions. Important. Next is species, the characteristics and behavior, which is again the environment. 37 questions have been asked. RBI functions and monitoring. It's a broad picture, right? You combine all the subjects, okay, all the micro themes, and then do a priority analysis. You will find that environmental organization is important, emerging technology is important, species is important, RBI functions and monetary policy is important. Again, in science and tech, physics, certain questions from physics is important, government program is important. So now you know where to prioritize. Now, if you go below, you can see just 7 questions from these kind of topics, right? 6 questions from these topics. Now, just 1 question came from citizenship. Citizenship is a chapter in Lakshmikant. How much time are you going to allot for this? Because only 1 question have come, that too in 2021. Easy enough to answer that question. If you just go through the PYQ, you'll understand. So you don't have to actually go spend like 1 hour, 2 hour reading citizenship chapter. Again here, tribal movement. You don't have to spend much time. Literature. Don't spend much time. Pollutants. Don't spend much time. Historical terms and medieval. So people generally get scared of this, right? Medieval history, the terms are difficult. Art and culture terms are difficult. You don't have to spend much time there. So you just go through these and identify the number of questions asked in each micro theme and spend more time accordingly. All right. Do this at the beginning itself. Don't wait for like 2 years to pass and then identify, you should have spent more time in this and then saved your time. All right. Let's just go through the prelims micro themes. Here again, you can see harmful substances, an important micro theme. 25 questions have been asked. And here you can see all the questions that have been asked. Okay. All the options that were given, the answer and an explanation. And also which year it was asked. You need to have this idea. Harmful substances. Again, this is all harmful substances. Next is bioprefix kind of questions. Again, important. 11 questions have been asked. fifth and sixth schedule, all the questions you can find here. Advent of Europeans, just giving you a brief idea how to go about it, right? Let's go year-wise. Again, 2024, 100 questions. How many? 19 from geography, all the questions from geography here. Economy, 12 questions, all the questions here. Similarly, you have for 23, you have for 22, you have for 21, you have for 20. Let's just jump into one subject and let me explain you how to identify the micro themes. All right. So this is micro theme analysis for polity, specifically for prelims. All right. Look at this graph and you will identify. Just tell me in the chat box which micro theme is the most important out of all of these. Judiciary, very good. Very good, judiciary. Wonderful. You get an idea, right? Judiciary, maximum number of questions have been asked in prelims. So spend more time on judiciary. Go through the PYQs of judiciary. Identify the nature of question UPSC is asking. Just don't blindly read the chapter. Go through the PYQs. Identify what are they exactly asking. Where is the focus point here, right? Judiciary is important. Political theory is important. Fundamental rights and duties are important. Constitutional and non-constitutional bodies are important. Which is the least important one? Citizenship. Some random topics, some domestic bodies and agencies, not important. Taxation, not important. Just one question have been asked. You can actually ignore them. You don't have to ignore writs. Writs is a small topic. So it's not that you can, here citizenship, one question you can ignore if you want. But if you, I would advise not to ignore it completely. At least have one reading, have an idea how the citizenship thing works. Okay. Coming to writs, just have an idea how it works. Attorney General, emergency, federalism. You need to have an idea about all these. If at all a question comes, basic question comes, okay? I'm not talking about difficult question. Difficult question, nobody will be able to answer it, right? At least a basic question comes, you should be able to answer it, okay? This is the...
If you click on judiciary, we can show all the aspirants about the nature of question.
Right.
So we have segregated, like, is it difficult? And if you click on just, let's say, the first one, open the first one. So this is the question, and we have graded as something like difficult if you scroll down.
Yeah.
And we have also traced it back to a particular core book in NCERT. So this
Where
is the
you
level
want
of
to find this particular question.
Yeah.
So again, this question was difficult. It was asked recently in 2022. So you will at least have an idea. Was it easy? Was it a difficult question? If you are not able to answer a particular question, you can go to the section where it is mentioned. If it is easy question and still not able to answer it, that means there is some issue with your concepts. You have to go and revise your concepts. If it is a difficult question, you can be chill about it, right? Then which source, where will you find it? In NCERT, your core books, you can find this particular question. So just go through these questions and you will understand. For example, judicial review implies, it's an easy question, right? It's directly given in the Lakshmikant. So it's an easy question. So you can answer them. All right. And micro theme, year-wise in 2024, which question, how many questions have come from which topic? That's what is given here. Moving on to modern history. All right. Here again, which is the most important topic? Freedom movement, personalities, right? British constitutional developments, British policies, non-Congress parties, organizations. These are the most important questions. Least important questions are regional kingdoms, tribal movements, economic growth and development. Okay, these are least important, and the most important is these. So, for example, if I just click on the freedom movement personalities, I can just go through them and just open one and see. All right. So this is the question, the explanation of it. Where can I find it? 4 books, NCERT. All right. Just go through one of these. Again, 4 books, NCERT. I can find these questions. Okay. All right. So you need to have, again, year-wise segregation of micro themes. So I hope this is clear to you. This particular section, okay, these micro themes you will not find anywhere. You need to do this thing by yourself, by going through the PYQs and identifying the different topics under which, for example, different topics in which in a particular subject in which UPSC asks more questions from, right? So that once you identify these micro themes, you need to do priority analysis in the sense that which micro themes is more important in comparison to something else. Okay, once you do that, you can actually divide your time accordingly to cover those chapters. Okay, so this is for prelims. You have different subjects here. Let's just go through the mains as well. Okay, GS 1, 2, 3, questions from 2013 till 2024, 748 questions have been asked. In GS1, 255, GS2, 245, GS3, 248, and GS4, 153 have been asked. Why GS4, 153? Because number of questions are less, because case studies are given there, right? Section B is full of case studies. All right, here again, you can see which subject is the most important. You can see the yellow one where 92 questions have been asked from polity alone. Now, polity comes in GS2. Second important one is geography. 91 questions have been asked. So can you ignore geography? No, you cannot ignore it. All right. Next is 76, society, Indian society, very important subject. 73, economy, very important subject. 65, governance, very important subject. IR 53, again, security, internal security, 48 questions. Internal security in GS3. So you need to know which subject come under which general studies paper. Okay. You got an idea about this? Again, GS1, 255 questions have been asked. Here again, art and culture, modern history, world history, Indian society, geography, post-independence. These are the subjects in GS1. Which subject is the most important? You can see the green one, which is geography, the most important subject. Okay. In 2013, 10 questions have been asked. Okay. And 2024, 5 questions have been asked. Here you can see Indian society, next important topic. 9 questions have been asked in 2024, and you can see a good amount of questions is being asked from this particular subject every year. Which is the least important? I think it's going to be world history, right? Less number of questions come from world history. All right, have an idea about this. And then once this is done, this is broader, the subject wise. And then you have syllabus wise as well. Okay, syllabus wise, Indian culture, modern history, and then you have freedom struggle, post-independence. This is given particular in as per the UPSC syllabus. Okay, so you can just go through them and see. In 2024, important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic, that has come. 3 questions from that has come. Then you can see salient features of world physical geography. 1 question has come. Role of women and women organization. 3 questions. So you just go through them and identify important topics and important subjects. For GS2, similarly, you can see polity, governance, IR, social justice, which one came more in which year. All right, this is as per the UPSC syllabus. Again, similar, repeat for GS3, economy, agriculture, disaster management, environment, science and tech and security. Economy is the most important subject here. Multiple questions have come from there. Again, agriculture is another important subject. Science and technology is important, and internal security is the most important. And disaster management, I think just 1 or 2 questions come every year. And even environment, just 1 or 2 questions every year. All right. All right. This is again UPSC syllabus-wise division. Here you can see GS paper 4, ethics. Similarly, UPSC syllabus-based, micro-theme based segregation. You can also see this is for GS4 specifically. Micro-themes are very, very important because the kind of questions UPSC asks in GS4 is very complex in nature, right? There are like code-based questions, some mix and match of different topics. So here, if you can just get hold of these micro-themes and do a PYQ analysis for mains, you will be in a better position to decode the kind of questions that are coming in GS4, right? All right, so this is mains trend. Here again, you can see micro-theme based questions that have been given. Okay, just taking you through polity. Here polity, you can see different micro-themes on the left-hand side and the number of questions that have been asked. Now just tell me which is the most important one. Which is the most important micro-theme when it comes to polity in mains? Very good, local self-government, right? The local self-government is very important in polity, right? The local self-government, fundamental rights, DPSP, fundamental duties, center state tussle. So For prelims, it was different. Prelims, judiciary was important. For mains, local self-government is important. Can you see the difference? Okay, so you need to do micro-theme analysis for both prelims and mains separately. Okay, so local self-government here, fundamental rights, center-state tussle, constitutional comparison, separation of powers. These are important topics, and some parliamentary privileges are not that important. Presiding officers are not that important. Emergency is not that important. So accordingly, spend your time and energy, right? Again, year-wise division of different micro-themes. Okay, which micro-theme was asked in which year? How many questions from those micro-themes have been asked? Okay, again, UPSC syllabus based division. Okay, once you have an idea about this, you know which topic to spend more time on. Again, here you can see alternate dispute resolution is a micro theme. These were the questions that have been asked under ADR. Then amendments, 2 questions were asked. Case laws, 4 questions have been asked. Center state tussle, so many questions have been asked from this. Constitutional comparison, so many questions. That's why you saw, the graph was much bigger for these constitutional comparison and center state tussle, right? More important. Okay, just go through them and identify what kind of constitutional comparison. What are they exactly asking in this? Compare and contrast British and Indian approaches to parliamentary sovereignty. So British India is important, right? Again, USA India is important. UK India is important. Now, even in UK, what? Judicial systems of UK and India is important. Parliamentary system of UK and India is important. In France, secularism is important. So just in Lakshmikant, there is a chapter, there's a box given in which it's the initial chapter itself where it is given, India has taken few things from the different constitutions of the world, right? So for example, from France, India has taken secularism. From, from USA, India has taken different things like, fundamental rights and so on and so forth. So whichever thing has been taken by India from a particular constitution, just try and compare these both. Has India just copy pasted it, or has it brought some kind of modifications before just copy pasting? For example, in France, secularism is in a negative tone, right? But in India, it is positive secularism. Now, what is the difference between these two secularism? What is the difference between France model of secularism and Indian model of secularism? So just have an idea about all of these. ECI, elections, emergency, fundamental rights. Even in fundamental rights, which one is the most important? For example, Article 19 is very, very important. Article 21 is very important. You don't have to study every fundamental right. You just have to have an idea about every fundamental right and focus a little more on Article 19, Article 21, because many questions have come from these two. Clear? All right. Again, polity, year-wise, you can see in 24, 8 questions, 23, 10 questions, 22, 9 questions, 21, 7 questions. You can also go through these questions and see. I'll just take you through the third pillar, which I had talked about, which is making one-pager notes. First is identifying the micro-themes. Second is prioritizing which micro-theme is most important, where to give more energy to, how to study, how to do trend analysis, how to do PYQ analysis. Once you're done with all of these, you need to start preparing your notes, right? So I'll just take you through my one-pager notes. I've already done some detailed videos you can find on YouTube as well. Just taking you through GS1 notes. This is Indian society. You can see definition, data, code, multiple forms, recent. So I identify the dimensions from the PYQs. Taken A4 sheet paper, and then made my notes, right? You can just see these keywords, right? I've just mentioned the keywords. I've not written in detail in paragraph format, right? So this is how you need to prepare your one-pager notes. This is geography, ocean currents. Again, you can see pointer-wise. This is exactly how I'm going to write in my answer if a question on ocean current comes. Introduction, body, conclusion. Only body, the dimensions differ, but introduction, conclusion is almost the same, right? Again, you can see here cyclones, the diagrams that I'm going to draw, the tropical cyclones, characteristics, factors, okay, different analysis, IVC sites. Again, introduction, urban planning. What is the difference between IVC and the present day urbanization? IVC culture, a map I have drawn here. Try to correlate it with the smart city mission of the present day India, right? Rocket architecture, introduction, evolution, a diagram here, important source of knowledge. I've covered everything in detail, okay, for all the GS4 papers. All right, this is for GS2. again, a list of keywords that needs to be added in the answer. For example, constitutionalism, federalism, temple of democracy. I'll make sure that these keywords come in my answers to make it look a little more technical, professional in nature, right? Different important articles that I'm going to mention in my answers. Then parliamentary form of government, presidential form of government, the difference between them, the merits and demerits, analysis. Okay, you will get everything. So this is a micro theme that I have analyzed. And once I go through the PYQs, I'll get the nature of question that have been asked. So the kind of question that generally UPSC asks is the difference between parliamentary form of government and presidential form of government. Are we supposed to adopt the presidential form of government? So there is a reason for adopting parliamentary form of government because of a colonial past. Should we switch to presidential form of government? What are some committee recommendations that have been given? So you need to, once you identify these dimensions, you can make your notes appropriately. Okay. Okay, so this is like federal features, unitary features, local bodies. So as I mentioned, one of the most important theme and most repeated theme is local self-government. In local self-government, financial empowerment is a very important topic. Okay, UPSC has time and again repeated that kind of question on physical empowerment, fiscal empowerment, not physical, sorry, lack of fiscal empowerment, right? So you have to have a proper note on that. All right, basic structure doctrine. This is for GS3, government budgeting, investment models. You can just see how crisp and to the point I have made my one-pager notes. This is exactly how you should prepare as well. Constraints, need, measures, way forward, transport. So everything that is required for an answer, I have made sure it's present in my one-pager notes. This is for GS4, ethics keywords, a list of keywords I have, both positive, negative, a list of ethical dilemmas which can be used in section A, static questions as well as case studies, a list of conclusions as well I have prepared, a list of examples, list of values and examples of civil servants and some personal examples as well, some Western philosophies, a list of them. So you must have, this is how you have to prepare your one-pager notes. In detail, I've already covered them.
Okay, great. Folks, please, like we have, let me summarize. What the point of the session was that as a beginner, you don't start preparing in some conventional or traditional way, like starting from NCRT, then don't do a linear preparation. Prepare like someone who has already given 2-3 attempts and have learned their lessons, right? In a way, now they can identify what are the most important topics, and they are not randomly identified. They are verified by the previous year questions. Because it takes a lot of work, we have already done it. I've shared the link. It will have a mains micro theme PDF. We will also upload the prelims micro theme because we just finished. Prelims micro themes is really like it's a really tough task because it's hard to pinpoint particular topic which covers decent enough number of questions, right? So, but we have successfully done it. We will be uploading the prelims micro theme PDF in the same drive. If you're a beginner, what you want to do is go through those micro themes. Once you have gone through those prelims and mains micro themes, you want to see which topic can be covered from what book, what are the standard books and NCRT, etc. From where you can. Once you have sorted that particular standard books and resources, the last thing is the one-pager notes. You want to convert that original source into some one-pager notes that she has already shown. And if you still didn't get like how exactly you do that, we have been uploading these videos from Sreelakshmi around how to convert an original source or a standard books into one-pager notes. We have done it for GS 1, 2, 3. In a week, in a day or two, we'll also upload GS4. That's it. Those are the 3 pillars that will make you prepare in a non-linear fashion. You will be way ahead than other aspirants who are going book to book, right? She'll have to drop now. Me and my teammates will take all your questions, whatever you have questions. Please write your questions or ask me to unmute. I'll unmute you. Thanks, Sreelakshmi, for taking out time.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.